Alassane Ouattara's supporters leave, and most of them were women. They not only protesting the continued stay in power of Laurent Gbagbo, but they were also saying that they were holding protests in memory of 6 women who Gbagbo forces killed a few days ago. They held prayers for them, some were mourning, and as they were protesting, youths had barricaded the road leading to Abobo to ensure that no forces, no pro-Gbagbo forces went in there to disperse the protesters. And the UN was conducting there to ensure that no pro-Gbagbo supporters also went into the neighborhood to clash with their opponents.
Okay, Mohammed, the audio line's not so good there, so we're going to leave it there. But thank you very much indeed for that update. Mohammed Ado in Abidjan there. Now, it's International Women's Day, a celebration of the economic, political and social achievements of women. Kenya's Maasai women are some of the most marginalised in the country, with limited access to education. Catherine Soy reports from the southern town of Kajiado, where a women's group is striving to change this.
In the dry and desolate landscape of Kenya's south, under the scorching sun, Maasai women, their children and grandchildren learn the alphabet. The women meet here once every month to learn how to read, write and count. Literacy levels among the Maasai community are still very low. For many, that means circumcision, early marriages and the denial of basic rights, even the right to inherit property.
Women from this part of the country have been marginalized for so long, but these ones here are determined to change the odds, and they believe that education, no matter how basic, is a key to their empowerment.
Jane Lanoi escaped circumcision at a young age. She returned in 2004 to help women stand up for their rights. It was not easy.
I'm a woman, and I'm supposed to be in the community to be very silent, to be seen, but not to be heard. So when I came in and I said that I had something that I would want to share with the community, the first community meeting, nobody showed up, including the women.
After a lot of persuasion, Emily Mukolo was one of the first women to listen to Jane. Now she's earning a modest allowance, making beaded ornaments for sale. But she still has to delicately juggle her home life and her beadwork so as not to upset her husband.
Our men don't give us the freedom to work. Even now, we have household chores from dawn to dusk and have to carry our beads everywhere in case we get a little time in between the chores.
This has, however, not deterred the women here, all 130 of them, all with a passion to change a culture that has for so many years relegated them to the sidelines. Catherine Soy, AlJazeera, Kajiado, Southern Kenya.
In Bangladesh, Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus has lost a High Court appeal against being sacked from his own bank. Last week, the central bank ordered the 70-year-old out of Grameen Bank for working in violation of the country's retirement laws. His lawyers argue that the bank has a special status and those rules don't apply. Yunus has been an outspoken government critic who attempted to form his own political party in 2007. Stay with us, headlines are next. It's 1:30. The main stories on Al Jazeera. Libya's opposition National Council has given Colonel Gaddafi 72 hours to step down as leader and stop bombing his people. They say if he does, he can avoid prosecution at home. But Gaddafi's forces are on the attack in Libya's rebel-held towns. Battles are ongoing in AlZawiya and in Ras Lanouf. Witnesses say residents are fleeing as the town is shelled. Britain and France are pushing ahead with plans for a UN-backed no-fly zone over Libya. But China has said Libya's sovereignty must be respected, suggesting it would veto a resolution. In Yemen, at least one inmate has been killed and dozens more injured during clashes with police at a prison in the capital, Sana'a. Around 2,000 prisoners have joined protests across the country, calling for the removal of President Ali Abdullah Saleh. Riot police fired warning shots and used batons to try to disperse prisoners after protests began on Monday, but the situation is still out of control. Former Iranian President Akbar Hashemi Rafsanjani has lost his position as head of the powerful clerical body which chooses Iran's supreme leader. Rafsanjani's been accused of being too close to the reformist opposition. He'd been head of the 86-member Assembly of Experts since 2007. A criminal court in Egypt has upheld a travel ban on ousted President Hosni Mubarak. The decision prevents Mubarak and his family from leaving Egypt. Their financial assets and property have also been frozen. Ayman Mohyuddin is in Cairo for us. And no, he isn't. Let's move on. Police in Pakistan have arrested a man over a bomb blast that's killed at least 25 people. The explosion in the eastern city of Faisalabad happened at a gas station in a neighbourhood full of government buildings. About 100 people were injured. Officials say the man may also have been involved in a 2009 attack on a Sri Lankan cricket team. Police in Scotland say they've arrested a 30-year-old man in connection with a suicide bombing in Sweden. The bomber, Taimur Abdul Wahab, a Swedish national of Middle Eastern descent, was killed in December when his explosives went off prematurely. And Brazil's football team has arrived in Chechnya. Famous players such as Ronaldo, Kaká and Ronaldinho are part of the squad. The match is seen as a way to promote the region as a safe, modern place for investment. But it'll also feature Ramzan Kadyrov, the feared leader of the region. Those are the main stories. Coming up next on Al Jazeera, it's Riz Khan.
Hello and welcome. Why does maternal health remain the luxury of the world's most privileged, and what will it take to make motherhood safer for the world's poor? One of the 8 Millennium Development Goals set up in 2000 was aimed at reducing maternal mortality by 75%. But of all the targets set, making motherhood safer is lagging behind the others. Globally, the fight to reduce deaths related to childbirth and pregnancy has only met 20% of its goals. Today, 500,000 women die during pregnancy every year, and 9 million children in the developing world will die before their 5th birthday. That means that one pregnant mother and 18 children will die prematurely every minute of every day of every year. As International Women's Day marks its 100-year anniversary, we ask, what will it take to reduce the rate of maternal mortality around the world? Remember, you can send us your questions and comments through text messages or through email. I have 2 guests to discuss these issues. The first, as Grace Magazine covers around the world for 20 years. But beyond the glamour of the fashion world, she's also a staunch advocate for maternal health. Christy Turlington-Burns founded Every Mother Counts and recently made the documentary No Woman, No Cry, which explores the challenges facing pregnant women living in 4 distinctly different parts of the world. Christy Turlington-Burns will tell us more about that as she joins us from New York. And here in the studio with me is Jill Sheffield, the founder and president of Women Deliver, an international organization that campaigns on maternal health and women's empowerment. I thank you both for being with me.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Christy, I'll start with you, please. Your concerns and awareness of the maternal health care issue came from your own experience with childbirth. Give us a brief idea of what happened. I know you explain it in your documentary, but just tell us what got you interested.
Sure. About 7 years ago, I delivered my first child, my daughter, and I had a perfect pregnancy, perfect delivery actually, until after that, and I started